question, Jake, if I can ask.
Title 42 is expiring. Do you see a national security, are there national security concerns over the Title 42 expiration?
So the team has been working very hard to ensure that we are taking steps to be able to manage the expiration of Title 42 and to put in place a process that will be orderly and humane. And we believe that in doing so, we can protect our national security concerns.
Well, moving into our next story of the day, we have video here of more than 1,000 migrants crossing the border in El Paso overnight. Now, this isn't uncommon, but it's been a while since we covered what's going on at the U.S.-Mexico border, and we got to keep this stuff in the news, folks, because the Biden administration is mishandling this thing like never before, folks. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button, and also leave us a comment down below. We're doing a campaign here. You leaving a comment, interacting with the channel does yeoman's work in sending our videos out to new viewers who haven't seen our content or our channel, so your help and support would be greatly appreciated. Well, a massive caravan of more than 1,000 migrants crossed the southern border of the United States in El Paso, Texas on Sunday night. Video posted to Twitter by Fox News correspondent Bill Melugin showed the group wading across the Rio Grande River from Mexico. Quote, a huge migrant caravan of over 1,000 people crossed illegally into El Paso, Texas last night, making it the largest single group we have ever seen. Melugin tweeted Monday morning, the city of El Paso reports Border Patrol now has over 5,000 in custody and has released hundreds into the city streets. Yes, you heard that correctly. Just released hundreds. They're sitting there not processing some of these people. And we got video of the Biden White House being asked about Title 42. And if these people are being processed and they lie to you, folks, we got it on tape. They're throwing these people out in the streets. They're letting them loose into the interior of the country. And they're not being processed correctly. Again, you're going to see from Jake Sullivan himself say that they are being processed when in fact they are not. We'll get to that in one moment. According to Melugin, the migrants could be traced to a series of buses that recently traveled to a Mexican city on the river just south of El Paso. Before the mass of migrants crossed, Mexican police escorted nearly 20 buses. Yes, you heard that correctly. The Mexican police escorted 20 buses full of migrants into a city, the Mexico City, across from El Paso, and released them at multiple non-governmental organizations. The migrants then walked from the non-governmental organizations to the river and crossed illegally into El Paso, as you see on the screen. And we also have footage of them being escorted as well. This stuff is wild, you guys. El Paso Matters reported that migrants were part of a caravan stopped in Mexico on Thursday, more than 200 miles from the U.S. border, before being allowed to proceed. The flow cannot be opened, and there is no support for migrants in a specific city that I can't even pronounce. This affects the people of that city, the governor Campos told the outlet. Right now, between 1,200 to 1,500 migrants are coming through Jimenez in the south of the state, guarded by the federal government. Guarded loosely. There is no more space in the shelters. There hasn't been space for quite some time, folks. They're having like 250,000 people come through a month. You break it down per day, it's crazy. And it's only going to get worse when Title 42 is gone. If they arrive in Juarez, we will look out for them. But we are urgently calling on the federal government for help. They're not going to give you help, man. Pfft. Really? 2 years now? This has been going on? They're not going to give you any help. Joe Biden doesn't know what the hell is going on. Joe Biden literally went to a border state and didn't visit the border. And when asked about it, he wasn't going to. And then you had Fox News, Jackie Heinrich asking, hey, well, at any point in 2023, is he going to visit the border? And she was blown off. She was blown off by the Biden administration. There's no plans, you guys. There's no plans. The concerning number of migrants recently entered El Paso comes as many predict unlawful crossings are about to worsen. Title 42, a Trump-era policy that allows agents to turn away migrants due to COVID-19 concerns, is set to expire next week, I believe December 21st. 15 state attorney generals petitioned a federal judge to keep the program alive. Well, here's the White House being asked by Fox News regarding Title 42, and here's what Jake Sullivan has to say here.
My final question, Jake, if I can ask.
Title 42 is expiring. Do you see a national security, are there national security concerns over the Title 42 expiration?
So the team has been working very hard to ensure that we are taking steps to be able to manage the expiration of Title 42 and to put in place a process that will be orderly and humane. And we believe that in doing so, we can protect our national security concerns. That is a process that others can speak to better than I can, but from my perspective, the issues related to ensuring an orderly, humane migration process at the border are being persistently and constantly addressed through the interagency process, and we are working through what the procedures will be in place at the moment of expiration on the 21st.
Does the U.S. government have any sense of how many people are coming across that that there is no visibility on? How many people are crossing that you have no idea who they are?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure I understand the
Do you have a sense
question.
of how many people crossing the border that the U.S. government has no idea? Like estimates of how many people crossing aren't giving their name, aren't giving IDs, aren't able to verify who they are?
So we do have estimates of how many encounters there are at the border on a daily basis. We have processes and procedures in place to identify those individuals, to process them in an orderly fashion, and then
Orderly fashion? We just got done reading an article here that says it's not very orderly that you're just letting them out in the streets. And by the way, the question itself, to not, get too lost here, was about those that aren't being caught, that those aren't being apprehended or encountered. How are we processing them? But I mean, the guy did kind of a rough job of explaining the question that was proposed because the guy, Jake Sullivan, didn't understand it in the first place. That he's talking about gotaways, those that aren't being apprehended, that they're just making it through unabated, not caught on tape. But, here you have it. Hey, it's all orderly, you guys. Everything down there's orderly. It's not chaos at all. Nope. Even though you have Border Patrol say this place is nuts. It's nuts. We're just letting them pass through at this point. We can't process all these people. But yeah, the White House saying, it's fine. Nothing to see here, folks. No big deal.
to do what is appropriate based on that processing. And we have believed that system is a system that does an effective job of being able to determine who is coming across the border and what the right way to deal with their case is. Yes.
Boy, he's moving on quick, folks, because he knows that what's taking place at the southern border is a disaster. And they have no plans, zero, of fixing it. They'll tell you your face they got it handled. They'll tell your face it's all orderly, even though they don't have room for these people. You have these localities that don't have enough room, that are expected to pay for it out of their own budget, taxpayer dollars, to figure out the situation for all these people without the federal government's assistance. You have certain localities that are upwards of spending $7 million plus on this stuff, going, look, we don't have it in the budget. We can't help these people. We don't have any more room. They're impacting our infrastructure. They're impacting what's going on down here. They're also building entire shelters in New York City where some of these people are being bused to and other places, giving them shelter, giving them a 3-course meal, revolving menu. They're getting Xboxes, plasma TVs, couches, rugs, full get up, full setup. I mean, it's crazy what's going on here, folks, but this is how Democrats want to run things. And you know what, folks? People voted for this again. This is what the people wanted, you guys. They wanted this stuff to happen. So I will continue to cover it here on the Bob Brad Show, but we need to know and be clear that Democrats wanted this stuff, unless they're like a one voting person of going, well, I went with them. I don't like illegal immigration, but I wanted this. They voted for this stuff, you guys, and they will continue to vote for it. They'll vote for their cities being ran into the ground. They'll vote for record illegal immigration. They'll vote for higher taxes. They'll vote for increased homelessness. They'll vote for more looting, more smash and grabs, more violence. They'll vote for all that stuff because they're so scared of Donald Trump. They're so scared of conservative Republicans who want law-abiding citizens to have the right to free speech and their Second Amendment. It is so crazy. I can ramble for hours here, folks, but I think we got the gist of it. We have Elon Musk releasing the fifth installment of the Twitter files. We have the White House still not getting their act together on the southern border with thousands of people crossing the border on tape. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments. And folks, I'll see you tomorrow here on the Bob Brad Show.